What's good, guys? Welcome back to another weekly outlook with Leo. Say what's up, Leo.
Hello again.
Yep. So as you can see, we're doing the similar what we did last week. We're going to show you guys the news outlook for this week, which is very, very heavy, right? We have Monday, no news, which is really good. Take that as a break day. Tuesday, we have GBP, Euro, GBP again, and then USD news in the morning. And then Wednesday, we have Euro, USD. And then Thursday, we have Euro and USD. Euro again, and then Friday we have USD core price index right there. So very, very heavy news. So I'm expecting something to be very dramatic this week. So I mean, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure in your opinion too, right, Leo, that I think it's better if you just either don't trade this week or just lower your risk if you do trade, right?
Yeah, definitely looking like a 50-50 week to me. I would be very careful, especially going into Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah. So make sure you guys keep that in mind, and then let's get started. So first things first, let's start off on the dollar index. Right. So obviously last week we wanted Dixie to run higher, right? Dixie failed to do that. It kind of just chopped around, consolidated, right? Kind of accumulated in this area down here, right? I think Dixie overall wants to go higher, but I could see it wanting to run lower once more to really sweep these lows here and then punch higher, right? In my opinion, if it really wants to go higher, it shouldn't have a need to do that. It doesn't need to come down here anymore, right? I feel like the accumulation is really, really well here for longs, but news this week is starting to make it very unpredictable. So it's very tough for me to just sit here and tell you guys, oh, it's gonna go higher or it's gonna go lower, right? So that's why I said like this week is gonna be a little more 50-50. So if you are watching this week for our outlook, I want to just stress again, be very, very careful, right? It's very easy for me and Leo here to get it wrong. So I don't want to put that on you guys saying, oh, they've got it right last week. Let's see if we can get it right this week, right? Like take it from a little like more like a grain of salt where, like I said, it could go higher, it could go lower. I'm favoring towards buy side liquidity, right? But anything can happen, right? Is there anything else you want to add here, Leo, before we move to the next one?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, let's move on. So we got dollar index 1 hour just to show you guys a little more in detail, right? I still see that potentially sell side liquidity is resting here. Is what I really added here. Buy side liquidity up here, right? So I'm looking for Dixie to run into these buy sides. However, like I said, it could be very simple for them to kind of manipulate this higher as inducement and then run stops and then run higher. I could easily see them doing that. And if they do that, then you don't want to be caught in this trying to chase these longs higher, right? Yeah. And then there's also the inefficiency here that they can trade down into. But like I said, if they want to go higher, I'm looking at this as a stop run. So they should stop, come down here, and then really, really aggressively start rallying higher, right? Let's move on from this. Is there anything else you want to add here, Leo?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect too much on Monday because there is no news on Monday. And I wouldn't be trading too much on Monday. And as we move into Tuesday, it would be quite low probability because of all the Euro, GBP, USD news events. I think they're printing a 50-50 scenario for all the news events here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you here. So, if you guys have any special occasions or anything for this week, just take the week off. Enjoy the sun, touch some grass. Whatever you want to do. Let's move on from Dixie 1 hour. We have EU daily, right? So this is EU daily. I know this might look a little different if you're using a different broker. I'm using Forex.com on TradingView as a broker. I know FXCM has this as a green candle, so make sure you guys check your wherever you looking at your charts with, right? I'm using Forex.com here. And from Forex.com, this is what's showing me that this is the bearish order block, the bearish order mean threshold right there between these two candles. All right, you guys can pull that up on your charts. And then price respects or closes that in perfectly at the mean, right? Which is what is good for it to run lower. However, right, I'm looking at this down candle here, right? Took out the stops here, runs higher, I'm looking at this as a potential order block that they could use to send price higher, right? But like I said, from Dixie already, it's gonna be a very tough week, right? I want Dixie to go higher. If Dixie goes higher, that means EU is gonna go lower, right? Usually, right? Tuesday, there's a bunch of Euro news. So it could be you can get very animated for Euro USD here, right? This is the daily time frame. So if it really wants to, it could, like the opposite Dixie. Dixie runs lower, EU can run higher, tag buy side. I'll maybe run this here, maybe trade it to this wick here, or even try to take out that wick, right? Maybe trade above the bodies of those candles right there, right? It could easily trade above the bodies and then drop lower, start running for sell side here, and even down here, right? But as of right now, like I said, it's very dangerous in my opinion, right? Like I want you guys to respect the risk, respect the markets, and if you guys could take the week off, right? Is there anything you want to add for this, Leo?
Not on the daily, no.
Not daily. Okay, let's move on. We have Euro 1 hour. So for Euro USD 1 hour, it's just a little bit more detailed, like I said. Not really too much self liquidity here and here, right? Bearish order block, mean threshold. You see price kind of trade up into it, wicks into it, starts selling off here, right? Buy side resting above here, in my opinion, right? And I'm not sure what EU really wants to do at the moment, right? It's like Leo said, it's 50-50. I'll probably market is kind of what I'm looking at. So I am personally going to take a break from the markets for this week, right? So I want to either at the end of the week, I want to recap and see what they did. So I'm kind of paying attention to this right now. I see buy side here, sell side here. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them were engaged, right? Let's say if they ran buy side first, tank low for sell side, right? That would help Dixie, run lower first and then run higher for Dixie, right? So EU would do the opposite, run buy side first and run sell side. So, I mean, that's like I said, that's what I would want them to do, right? Potentially, but I don't know at the moment. I don't know, right? Is there something you want to add here, Leo?
Yeah, so I agree with the running buy side and sell side taking both sides apart, but I think this is a little is it a hot take, okay? On Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if they take out these lows here into here. So Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if Euro trailed a little lower, taking out these lows here, this small sell side liquidity pools into this area,
Mm-hmm.
bounce off, run buy side into news, and then sell off into the remainder of the week.
Yeah, I could definitely see something like that happening.
Yeah, that would be me.
Mm-hmm.
And EU is moving a lot cleaner than GU, which might lend to smoother run. So if you were to trade this week, I would be trading EU, not GU. I would stay away from GU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely agree with you there. Right. It seems like EU's has been the only one really following Dixie, so it's gonna be tough. But like Leo said, if you had to pick one, I think you should pick with EU, right? Now we have GU daily here, right? I highlighted this inversion fair value gap for you guys here, right? Price could get up here, right? This level here's equilibrium of this range. This is here is the constant encroachment of this gap right here, right? And then we have buy side liquidity resting here. Price is right here as of right now. Constant encroachment of that wick I'm noting out as well. So for GU daily, when I go down to the lower time frame, you'll recognize that there's more buy side liquidity resting here. And I see price kind of got into the equilibrium and then punched lower, right? Punch into these down candles here. And it seems like it's really closing aggressively higher, right? Which it kind of makes me think that it wants to do something dramatic this week, right? And I'm not talking dramatic in a good way, right? I think it's gonna be very choppy, I would say. Like it's gonna be like search and destroy, where it's gonna be hunting both sides of liquidity. All right. Oops. Hunting both sides of liquidity, right? So when price runs lower here, looking at maybe, okay, might be the Judas. There's an opening gap here. Price could run higher, take out some buy side on a lower time frame, trade up into this equilibrium, take out more buy side here, and then drop lower, or they can just drop lower and then run these lows here and maybe even run below that low, right? So this is what we have on GU daily, right? Is there something you want to add here, Leo, at all?
No, it's just very choppy. I would definitely be avoiding GU at all
Mhm.
costs.
Okay.
It will definitely cause damage to your account if you aren't really seasoned.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on from GU daily. All right, we have GU 1 hour. Okay, so obviously the 1 hour you can start seeing, okay, this is not looking too pretty. Some of you guys might just got a headache just looking at this, right? But let me help you guys digest it, right? So as of right now, we have a lot of highs here, equal highs in my opinion, a lot of buy side resting here, right? We see price comes up, create buy side liquidity there, drops lower, takes out sell side here, comes up higher, retracement, creates buy side again, drops lower. And I think this is the accumulation of longs here for them to finally run out these buy side, right? But Monday, there's a lack of news. So I don't recommend you guys trading this, right? Like I said, even though I'm saying, okay, I want to see them run buy side, I do want you guys to exercise caution saying, like, okay, Alan's saying they want to run buy side, but like I said, there's no news on Monday, and it's very heavy. It's gonna be very heavy news on Tuesday. So I don't want you guys to start saying, okay, I want to buy this, and then just try to wait and cash these out. That's fine if you really want to do that. I don't recommend it. I think it's bad for your habits as well. I feel like you want to either wait for something that you're able to see, right? And then maybe try to hop in for a long with lower risk, just because, like I said, this week is kind of crazy. And then maybe if it gets up near these levels, you can start closing, right? Because you don't want to, well, you don't want to like hold a long from down here and then it runs up and you're like, oh, it's running for these highs. And then it starts reversing on you, right? So there's a lot of times where GU does that. As you can see, like it runs higher and it just takes it all away from you. Runs higher, takes it all away, runs higher, takes it all away from you, runs higher again, fails to take out these highs, and then continues running lower. So you don't want to be caught up in that. So if you do want to trade GU, I don't know why you would want to trade GU. But I'll recommend like very short term trades. Like I'm talking less than 3 hour trades, like less than 3-4 hours, you're out of the market, right? I don't recommend you guys holding this trade, especially when there's news tomorrow or news Tuesday. Well, yeah, Tuesday, right? So it's very, I guess, iffy at the moment for I would recommend it for you guys to trade, right? Is there something you want to add here, Leo, at all?
No, I think this is pretty solid. Like we kind of hammered down, don't trade GU.
Yeah.
However, uh, on the Wednesday review, I would like to cover the price action between Monday and Wednesday
Mhm.
and mark out the time when news drops and see what the market did in that time.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and yeah, it's very 50-50. This is when you exercise your discipline as a trader and just relax and just study the material, back test, do something else because it's not worth like wasting your mental capacity on like mental capital on like taking low probability trades in these conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on from GU. We have crude oil. All right, take it away, Leo.
All right, crude oil daily chart. As mentioned last week, we saw that crude oil moved into premium PD raise. Notably, that fair value gap noted in the purple and neon blue. I really wanted to see price respect that level after it took out a little buy side liquidity. We'll see in the lower time frame later, but right now, what I'm watching for is a trade through Thursday's price action, which is that last green candle. I think it was Thursday. Let me double check. Yes, Thursday, October 19th. I want price to trade through this low here. See if that can happen. And that'll solidify like we've made an intermediate term high. and then price is gonna start looking at discount. However, it's not totally set in stone yet, as we'll see in the lower time frame that we are at a discount PDRA, which price can accumulate at and shoot higher as a consequence. So I will be watching that. So move on to 4 hour. I included a fib measurement level for you guys on the 4 hour because we did move right into OT 70.5, which is really promising for a short position to accumulate. So if price does trade lower and then retrace into a temporary premium, I would be looking for a short on crude oil. However, we are still in Sunday's trading pretty much, and I would like to see more information before I take any risk. And yeah, I'm starting to look at discount levels. However, my concern is on the buy side, so I will still be careful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Leo. What I did notice was how price was punching higher and higher without taking lows out. Like I mentioned on the Friday review, right, where we did the end of the week review, and I kind of mentioned how I said once crude oil closed like this, I really liked the fact that it closed very heavy, and I was looking for to continue that movement lower, right? I see that there is like a bearish order block, I mean a bullish order block here, correcting me, right? And then price looks like it wants to either use that to kind of retrace a little bit higher or just stay just run right through it, in my opinion. Right. So if it runs right through it, that's a really good sign that we're gonna be looking for bearish price action. However, that's not set in stone. Okay. However, that's not set in stone. If it does take out this low here, right? I don't want them to try to get back up above the 50% of this range here. Okay, if it gets above the 50% of this range here, it kind of voids that low for me as a like a shift for it to go bearish. I think it's gonna start looking for it as a way to start punching higher, and this was a stop run. Okay, I that's what I want you guys to know. All right. But yeah, I think that should kind of wrap it up for crude oil here. All right. Is there anything else you want to add, Leo?
Yeah, I guess it should take out the low on Tuesday the 17th for it to be a real shift.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on. That's yours. Take it away, Leo.
Yeah, so this is E-mini S&P. We gapped up into Sunday's trading off of the, oh man, what is that level? We gapped up into Sunday's trading and we're currently consolidating right now. I do still want to see sell side liquidity taken out at 4235.50 into early into the week. My scenario for this is I want to see the futures index futures punch a little lower. So we opened higher. I want to consolidate, run a little lower, take out the sell side, stop run it, and then or not okay, I didn't highlight it, but there's a low here, right here, this wick. I want them to roll it over, stop run it a little, and then trail higher into Monday and kind of be really choppy. Oops. And I want the midweek to be expanding lower into sell side liquidity. That was my prognosis for that. So for the daily, it's very quiet right now. I would need more data to confirm more. But my eye is on this imbalance premium high and imbalance discount low level and this sell side liquidity here. So on the 4 hour, yeah, I should have highlighted this level out right here. I want them to roll over, take it out, run into here, but it would be very, I would say, tough because there's these wicks here and it's a really small gap. it would be like very tough for price to get up in there. If anything, it would trail up, touch this imbalance, and I would want it to price to expand lower, like really be thick price action here, in my opinion, because of these candles, these wicks are punching lower, going back up, punching lower. It's already pretty efficient down here. So yeah, ultimately the target is 423,550 and 420,450 for the week. And we'll see what happens Tuesday because Mondays there's no news.
Yeah, so I want to bring your attention back to this down candle here, right? And I want you guys to be able to draw that out on your charts, right? I want to see how price reacts to if it trades up into like love into this down candle here, right? Like Leo said already, price already being efficiently traded down here, right? So if it does go above it, it's probably doing one of two things, right? It's gonna go either running into a very deep retracement and then sending it lower, or just a full on reversal and it's running for buy side, coming higher and punching higher, right? So depending on how it trades this week, I would be very, very cautious because let's just say it does run higher and you're like, oh, there's sell side down there, jump in a sell. Cool. I want you to bring your attention to this though. Look, this candle already took out the bodies of these candles here, right? I'm assuming it does. It looks like it does, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah, it does.
yeah, it does. So the idea behind this is that a lot of people will see the wicks here and then they're like, oh, there's still sell side here. Okay, you're technically right, but a majority of the position is from the bodies, right? So I'm looking at this like Leo said, it's 50-50, but if it really wants to, it can run down and take the south side out and then punch higher. But there's a lot of times where taking the bodies is already enough for them to then start running higher, right? Like I said, if it runs high, you can do one or two things, either full on reverse or it's a nice retracement into consolidation, stop run, and then run lower. Very simple, right? But we don't know until it happens, right? So let's move on from S&P and go on to NAS. NAS, very, very similar, in my opinion, right? NAS, a lot of sell side down here. Look at this body, close below these bodies already, right? So I'm already kind of iffy, right? I like the sell side here. What I don't like is how they didn't really run through it, right? Because these down candles, if I really wanted them to run sell side, they should have ran sell side, right? That's kind of how I'm thinking, like a market maker, right? But this imbalance here could be the catalyst, could be running them higher here, stop run, maybe come up here, consolidate, stop run into that, and then drop lower running into these lows. Almost a perfect scenario, but that's only a scenario, right? It hasn't played out yet. So I'm still very, very cautious with trading futures at the moment, right? Since it did drop very aggressively from the level what we gave off from last week, right? So like as of right now, I'll be very, very careful. I'm not saying, oh, it's sell side right here. It's a free trade, jump into sells, right? I could be wrong. It could just start clenching lower the next morning. It could do that. Or it can just consolidate, run higher and slowly push higher, and just eat up your equity in your account. Right. So you have to be very, very careful when you're trading at this, like during this week. I'm gonna emphasize that again. Be very careful. Okay. I don't want you to be like, you didn't tell it. Like I'm telling you right now, take a vacation, take the week off. Take the week off. Right. If you really want to trade, that's on you. I can't control you. If you want to trade, you can trade it. But I'm letting you guys know, like, it's gonna be a very, very tough week to trade. Right. If you do catch something good this week, call it a week early. Why not? Right. You don't have to push so much this week. Right. Is there something you want to add here, Leo, on the daily for NAS?
Yeah, it's very likely. I think price will consolidate for a little bit because there's no news. I would expect a profile where they consolidate price, either chop a little higher, make people think, oh, this is the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then for NAS and ES, I would expect price to consolidate early into the week because there is no news on Monday, and they'll use Tuesday news to expand price either into sell side or back into the range you just created. However, this is a 50-50 scenario, and I think Wednesday will have a clearer picture as to what the profile will be.
Sounds good, Leo. Sounds good. Let's move on to the 1 hour. Okay, so I did it more. I put a little bit more lipstick for you guys here. Right. We have the daily imbalances, like you said. I drew the fib out for you. Very likely that it could run into buy side here. You look at that, nicely equal highs up there. So if it really wants, it can run up there, or it can just tank lower first, take out sell side, and then start working up towards it. This is my intermediate term high. I do not want price to trade above this if it's still bearish. Right, very simple. If it does trade above it, I'm sideline and I need to adjust my buys. Right, if it's a stop run, that's ideal. Right, but if it gets up there, kind of just stays up there, then I'm probably wrong. It's not gonna go bearish anymore. Probably running for buy side up higher. Right, very, very simple. Dropped an hour for you guys to show you guys a little bit more details on the trade while I'm looking at. Right, true to fib out for you here. Right, as you can see, the fib is almost perfect to equilibrium. The buy side is resting above that, so looks like a very, very good target for them to punch it higher, run buy side, trade up into a level of premium, and then drop lower. But if they do that, then so be it. Right, very, very simple. Right, anything you want to add here, Leo?
I would point out that price there are a lot of wicks into the 62% area of price. Like there's a lot of wicks down, trading back up, down, and then so if price were to trade back up there, I wouldn't expect it to stick around very long. It would be like a shoot up and then expand the other direction, in my opinion. Kind of like a stop run, like a manipulation move into that,
Yeah, yeah.
because price is already pretty efficient up there. I don't expect too much sticking around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Yeah, so like you said already, Leo, it's a very dangerous market. So because if it gets up there, I mean, who to say is not gonna get up here? All right. Like it is efficiently being traded, but we've seen times where just you'll run through that like nothing. Like, this is nothing here. Right. So be very, very careful. It's very easy to be on the wrong side for this week. Right. If you think you see something and you're not sure, maybe just either skip the trade for a little bit, wait for more confirmation, or if you really want to enter the trade, you could just lower your risk. That's all I ask. Right. But yeah, I think that should wrap up today's or this week's weekly outlook for the rest of this week. Right. Like Leo and I said already, we'll probably be silent for most of the week, gonna chill, let this week play out. And then we'll give you updates midweek, obviously, to show you guys what we like to see or if our bias has improved or whatnot. But yeah, is there anything else you want to add to this, Leo?
No,
All right, sounds
that
good.
should be
Sounds
it.
good. Yeah, hope you guys have the great rest of your week. Make sure you guys stay safe, right? And we'll see you guys on our next video. Peace.
Take care. Take care.